Two major mistakes of the UN and the true historical struggle for Eritrean independence. 1. In 1952, federating Eritrea with Ethiopia ignored Eritrea's sovereignty. 2. In 2000 to 2002, the Algiers Agreement and EEBC border ruling were not fully implemented, ignoring Ethiopia's interests. Eritrea was colonized by Italy, 1890 to 1941. After Italy's defeat in World War II, Eritrea was administered by Britain, 1941 to 1952. Its borders were legally defined by colonial treaties, and during this period, Eritrea was never part of Ethiopia. Eritrea was a separate political entity with its own identity, governance, and territorial integrity. Ethiopia, one of the few African countries never fully colonized, was briefly invaded by Italy in 1935 to 1936, but regained independence by 1941. During Eritrea's colonial period, Ethiopia had no control over Eritrea, and its later claims do not reflect historical reality. After World War II, the United Nations federated Eritrea with Ethiopia. This decision was politically motivated, heavily influenced by global powers, US, UK, USSR, and not based on historical truth. Eritrea was supposed to have internal autonomy, but the UN failed to guarantee it. The federation was not negotiated in a neutral location such as Algiers, which could have ensured fairness. Ethiopia's legitimate interests were also ignored, making the UN Federation flawed for both sides. Ethiopia later annexed Eritrea in 1962, violating the UN Federation Agreement. Eritreans resisted, leading to a 30-year war of independence, 1961 to 1991. The fight was for sovereignty, dignity, and territorial integrity, and millions of lives were lost, soldiers and civilians alike, due to the flawed UN decision and Ethiopian annexation. By 1991, Eritrean forces had defeated Ethiopian military control, and in 1993, Eritrea became fully independent through a UN-supervised referendum, legally recognized by the international community. This history shows that Eritrea was always a separate sovereign entity with defined borders, and its independence was won through struggle and sacrifice, not granted by Ethiopia. The UN Federation was a politically motivated compromise, not justice, and Ethiopian claims that Eritrea was part of Ethiopia until 1993 are historically false. The human cost was enormous, but Eritreans defended their rights, sovereignty, and dignity. The current ambitions of Ethiopian leadership are a red alarm for the entire Horn of Africa, not just Eritrea. Rhetoric and military posturing suggest a desire for dominance over neighboring countries, including Kenya, Somalia, Sudan, and Djibouti. History shows that forceful expansion risks massive human suffering and regional instability.